Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another English rebroadcast of the SK Planet Pro League Season 2. Today we're going to have two matches because it's a weekend, not weekday, I almost said that, weekend. We're going to have Con versus Stars, followed by STX versus Air Force Ace, I believe. And the first game of the day, first match, is going to be Jangbi versus Soulkey, a pretty epic way to start it off. Two of the top players from their respective teams. Soulkey, basically Woonjin's ace player, and Jangbi, you know, along with Stork, the one of the two Protoss powerhouses on Con. Now, as I was saying to the viewers before I started, before we got into these games, I have a new setup here. Basically everything about the stream has changed in some form or another. Perhaps the most immediately obvious thing is that I'm streaming in 16:9 ratio now. Unfortunately, I think the esports TV VODs are still in 4:3, so that doesn't really make a difference here. But if I do stream StarCraft 2 on my own at any point, that will obviously help. Anyway, let me do the positions first. So in the bottom left, as the purple Protoss, we do have Jangbi. In the bottom right, as the orange Zerg, it looks like we are going to have Soulkey. The map is Neo Electric Circuit, PVZ. So yeah, this is a bit of a test run, guys. I've upped the video quality. I've increased the base XSplit quality from 4 to 6. I've increased the resolution, so I'm now going at 720p. I was at like 600p before, I think. And so you know, I'll need you guys to tell me if it's lagging or anything like that. My upload speed is really not that great, so hopefully that'll be all fine. And of course, audio-wise, I did get a new microphone and a new headset as well, both. Because there were, you know, a lot of complaints about the audio quality before, and I agree there was a lot of clipping. I didn't have the greatest microphone, so hopefully all those aspects will be fixed now. But do give me suggestions in the stream chat, or if you're watching this from the VODs, in the YouTube comments. I do always read those. Yeah, I believe that is all. So, assuming that everything is working for the moment, let's get back into the game. Nothing, you know, out of the usual just yet. Pylon at the front here, probably just going to be a Forge Fast Expand. Looks like Soulkey's Overlord going in the wrong direction, going to the top right first. Looks like he's going to 12 hatch. And we are doing the standard Pretty Lady on screenshot. Because that's what we do. Ooh, I just missed the stats from Season 1. Actually, I can look here on the whatever, screw it. I don't know what the stats are, but it looks like Soulkey is actually 2-0 against Jangbi. I believe that's what it's saying in the bottom right. And interestingly, the hatchery Soulkey plants at his back mineral only expansion rather than his natural expansion. That's a very weird choice in my opinion. There's no pro blocking his natural, so I don't know why he took that as his first expansion. He might try to be might be trying to trick Jangbi or something. If you're not familiar with the map, there is a safe back expansion that's basically inside your main base. It's a mineral only expansion. I think it has 6 mineral patches rather than the usual 8 or 9. So it's a, you know, it's not as good as your natural, but it's gonna be interesting if Jangbi goes into the natural of Soulkey, doesn't see anything, and just like freaks out and makes a million cannons or something because he's like, oh my god, he's gonna you know, try and cheese me. Or if he goes there and then and actually just leaves because he doesn't think Soulkey's there. But no, he does see the Overlord there, so he knows Soulkey's definitely in the bottom right. So he's gonna see no natural here and probably be quite confused. It's possible that that Soulkey is doing some kind of Ling all-in build here. I mean, look at this. He's taking his gas already without his third hatchery. This really feels like a Ling all-in, but I don't know if that's going to be effective considering that Jangbi sees exactly what's going on. And Jangbi planting a Matter Pylon here at the natural. Now, is he just going to make an off-place hatchery? Yeah, he's just going to make an off-place hatchery here, which is very, very curious. Now, there's two possible follow-ups from this. One, of course, is just to do the all-in. And not worry about the fact that your hatchery is in an awkward position there, because you know you're not really going to be mining much there anyway. So to do some kind of Ling or Hydra bust might work. Although I think Jangbi will be prepared for that and be very careful about something like that. I think a more likely choice is for him to actually go for like a 4-hatch Hydra-ish build. It won't quite be that because he's taken his gas already. But you know, one popular variant of the standard 3-hatch and then gas opening in ZVP is to actually go for 4 or 5 hatches before taking your gas and then get both gases in your main and your natural simultaneously and just mass a bunch of Hydralisks rather than going for the standard faster lair. And if you do that kind of build, it doesn't actually matter if you get one of your hatcheries blocked, because you're going to be making 4 or 5 anyway, so you can just put another one there. But no, it looks like it is going to be some early Hydralisk aggression here. Now, this isn't necessarily an all-in. Last season in Pro League, we actually saw somewhat of a metagame shift where this kind of 3-hatch Hydra, early Hydralisk aggression, was very, very common, and a lot of times Zergs just kind of followed it up economically, you know, with more expansions and more tech and drones and whatnot. So it is just kind of looking like the standard ZVP from last season. The only difference, of course, is this natural hatchery is in a very awkward position, so he's kind of, you know, mining there inefficiently with 2 drones. I think they would be better off mining at the back mineral only, unless that's already saturated, which I highly doubt it is, considering he's probably already making Hydras. But anyway, interestingly, Jangbi only got 1 cannon at his front. He's actually getting +1 attack for his Zealots, but he doesn't have a Citadel, so it's not a +1 speed lot or anything like that. And okay, there is actually a 4th hatchery going down here. So I'm a little bit confused by Soulkey's build. I mean, so the early Hydralisk den, you know, makes it seem like some early Hydra pressure, but then he made another hatchery, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. I also just realized I forgot to put my stream on the rebroadcast event, so just excuse me for 1 second while I do that, just so everybody is aware of what we're doing. Alright, hopefully that works now. Anyway, so first Corsair is on the way. Actually, it might already be out. I wasn't paying attention. I was fixing my stream. Apologies for all these little technical things that I'm working on today. And looks like a few cannons being added at the front. Might want an extra pylon there. He does only have 1 pylon kind of on the edge powering everything. Hydros could run in and snipe that. Artosis pylon's not usually as big a deal in in Brood War, but you know, it can still happen where you just have all your cannons powered by 1 pylon and you just lose the game because of it. It's happened to me on the ladder. I know it's possible. It's very embarrassing when it happens as well. Anyway, Soulkey, interestingly, just taking another expansion here, expanding to the 6 o'clock. Now that is expanding towards the Protoss, which is generally not a good idea, but it's kind of like the natural 4th, quote-unquote, that he would be taking. So, I mean, you know, if he's gonna put on this early Hydra pressure and kind of take map control from the beginning of the game, I guess it's not a bad choice. Interestingly, Jangbi is still not mining his 2nd gas. I noticed he wasn't mining it just now. I thought he just pulled them off for a second so he could build more cannons, and then he would put the probes back. But he's actually stopped mining his natural gas for quite a long time here. That's very interesting to me. I mean, then obviously he's probably going for the you know, a bigger zealot focus. You can see he's adding on a 5th and 6th gateway here. But it looks like speed is not done yet. Is +1 done? I'm not actually sure. He's moving out, but without speed, without +1, zealots are not very good against Hydralisks. In the early game, the Hydras can micro against them all day. Meanwhile, one Overlord kind of sacrificing itself to get a view of what is going on in the Protoss space. The Templar Archive is actually being planted at the natural just so the Overlord doesn't see it. I mean, obviously Soulkey's going to know that the Archives is coming, but that's going to prevent him from knowing the exact timing, which can actually be quite crucial here, because of course, you know, there are certain timings where a Zerg can just make a huge number of Hydralisks and hit right before Psionic Storm is done researching, and then the Protoss might have like 2 Templars at the front with no Storm and not enough cannons and Zealots, and then he just dies immediately. We actually saw that surprising amount in Pro League last season. So this is very interesting. It's gonna make it difficult for Soulkey to attempt anything like that. Of course, if you mess up and you go too late, then you just get stormed into oblivion, and then all your Hydras are useless. So gotta be careful. Anyway, looks like Zealot's moving out now, and oh, it looks like people talking about Poke Money. Yeah, I noticed that Poke Money did in fact do a live cast of this in English. Apparently he just he couldn't finish it again, similar to opening day, which is quite funny. It's only 2 matches, so does that mean we're gonna have some insanely long games today? I hope so. I'm hoping to see some nice long macro games, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, that's actually also something I wanted to ask you guys about. I mean, I've tried to, because I think I actually might be able to cast all of these matches live. Because even the weekday ones, I can actually just do it before I go to work. Just like get up a little bit early and then cast and then go to work. So I don't know if people prefer to watch these live or the rebroadcasts. Because I mean, obviously, you know, not everyone wants to wake up at Korean time to watch these games. So the rebroadcasts last season were like a good way for people to watch them kind of pseudo live with English commentary, and then they could just chat and whatnot. But anyway, it looks like some mutas are out actually, and there's no anti-air in the Protoss army. The High Templar is going to get picked off completely for free. I'm very surprised by this. Jangbi making a critical mistake right here. He had only Zealots on High Templar. A very nicely timed muta switch for Soulkey. Looks like one storm goes off, gets a few Hydras, but that is it. And these Hydras are actually just going to eat the Zealots alive now. Even though the Zealots do have speed, they have +1, but you can just see, oh man, Jangbi getting completely mauled in the middle of the map. Very nicely timed switch there, Jangbi. Looks like he's pouting a little bit. Can't really imagine Jangbi pouting, but I think that was it. Anyway, oh, looks like Muta's moving into main. Yeah, there's no cannons in the main base either. I think Jangbi is basically dead already. He's just dead in the water. Like, he might not die. He's not going to GG for the next, you know, couple of minutes, but I think he's dead, or at least I assume he won't, because Brood War players don't really like to GG. But I don't think there's any way for him to win this. He's losing a lot of probes here. He's down to 49 supply against the 73 supply of Soulkey. Usually Protoss should be ahead in supply, so that's bad news bears. He's probably, you know, making a couple High Templar, going to try and make an Archon, but you know, it's not going to do anything. Still no cannons anywhere in the mineral lines. The Scourge trying to pick off the Corsairs that come out from the Stargate. StarCraft 2 players might be wondering why Soulkey doesn't try and take down that one pylon that's powering like 4 gateways there in the main base. It's basically because mutas actually have quite a low DPS, so it would actually take them a really long time to kill that pylon, and he'd rather, you know, take down probes, snipe Corsairs, prevent Jangbi from being able to kind of solidify his forces, really. Yeah, you know, Artosis pylons are really not a big deal in Brood War, just because there's nothing really with a high enough DPS against buildings that can just like run into the base. Even Mutalisks, even a large pack of Mutalisks, like 11 mutas, take a little while to kill a pylon, so not as effective a strategy as in StarCraft 2. And whoa! Hello! It looks like Soulkey just sacrifices his mutas to snipe the High Templar so that his Hydras can go for the kill there. A very nice move. He baited out one of the storms from the High Templar. I think he killed another one, and now there's no storms left at the front, so only the cannons and the Zealots, and that's not going to be nearly enough. And Soulkey looking very calm and cool while waltzing into the Protoss Natural and killing everything with these Hydralisks. Jangbi, GG's! And Woongjin Stars takes set number 1 against Khan here. The Woongjin Zergs apparently greater than the Khan Protosses. Of course, that's what each respective team is known for. It's going to be hopefully some ZVP matches of epic proportions today. That one was kind of quick, but yeah, I mean, Jangbi just made a critical error there, moving out with only Zealots and High Templar, and it's like, oh, oops, there's 6 muta. I guess I lose. I guess I lose. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, well, actually I guess I'll go to the overlay first, is that Jangbi actually played in SC2 in the opening day, and he actually won. So, like, his overall record is 1-1 now, but he actually won in StarCraft 2 and not Brood War. I don't know, I just find that somewhat amusing. Anyways, let us go on to the next game. So anyway, actually, I asked you guys whether you prefer live or rebroadcast, and I didn't pay attention to the chat when I asked. Maybe I'll just ask it on TL in the thread. Alright, looks like see the thing is, a lot of people here like the rebroadcast, but it's kind of like I'm doing a statistically biased survey here, because I'm asking all the people who are watching a rebroadcast whether they want rebroadcast or not. It's like, if I was casting this live and I was like, hey guys, you're watching this live right now, but would you rather not? It's like, actually doesn't make any sense. This is just like completely not statistically sound. Yeah. Anyway. I might experiment and like base it on viewer counts. But let us not delay. Let us go into the next game.